The projects in Northeast BC that went forward into mines, I would say Dave was involved with, in one aspect or another, almost all of them.
The three main ones are Pine Valley Coal, Northern Energy and Mining, and Western Canada Coal.
There's not a lot of people in the mining industry that get to be part of that many startups and new operations.
No other coal mines have opened in Northeast BC or in Northern British Columbia without David's fingerprints on them in the last 20 years. He gained his reputation as the man of many pits because he was always trying to get an extra dollar out of the ground. He actually cut his teeth planning open pits at Grand Cache and Smoky River Coal. You could really sense that was David's love, was mine planning. Many mornings you'd get in early and Dave would be poring over his desk.
He was in that position of transitioning from used to be working for an operator and all the resources that comes to being, you're a junior company, you're banging on doors trying to raise money, you're trying to, advance your project at the same time.
Coal mines in the Northeast were closing. Quintet had closed, Bull Moose had announced its closure. David was still there.
He was the one, one of those few willing to say, no, there is still something here, we can't give up on this.
The probability of finding a mine is, some people say 1 in 10,000, some people say 1 in 1,000. Even to be involved in one project that actually gets into production and employs those thousands of people is a great achievement.
In the role he's in, has been in, and continues to be in, you have to have a certain ability to keep moving forward despite the no's you're going to get, despite the roadblocks that get put up in your way. And in those early days, there were a lot of them.
When other companies are leaving the Northeast of British Columbia, David was coming and acquiring tenures that others were dropping.
Saw the value in the money that had been spent on the infrastructure and said, this, we can't let it go because of a temporary downturn in the market.
And a memorable moment for me was when there was a packed house in Tumbler Ridge, and we were talking about bringing a new project on. And the common theme were miners standing up and saying, just issue the permit.
He was willing to kind of swim against the tide to see that through. That for me was kind of one of those defining moments where it's sometimes lonely, but it's sometimes you're right to do what you believe there.
David won't give up on a project, and we've had those meetings where we'll say, look, is it time to fold our cards? And David will never give up.
You have to have a lot of determination and self-belief to keep doing that day in, day out.
We got along well early because I could sense that his goal was to build mines in Northern British Columbia. And what could be wrong with that was my attitude. And he's full of energy. So we feed off David's energy around the office.
It's good to see him and still see that he has that drive for, I'm looking at this, I've got this opportunity, or here's what this is going for.
Was also known as the man of many cards, business cards. So he'd often come in because he was going from Pine Valley Coal to Western Canada Coal to Northern Energy and Mining.
He wore many hats at the time, and he was always on the go.
Who are you representing this time? Not another new mine. Heaven, not another new mine for British Columbia.
He was willing to be out there on the street, knocking on doors and telling this to people, even though it wasn't the commonly held belief. It was far from it. He was definitely in a very small minority of people that still saw opportunity for the coal industry in Northeast BC.
So, David deserves that credit for, keeping the Northeast of BC alive. You think more of David Fawcett as a financier or a developer or as a project manager, company president, but in fact, if you scrape away all that stuff, you find out that David Fawcett is a mine planner. He's got a strong fundamental in mining and geology, engineering, and puts together these mines.
Dave, I'd like to congratulate you on this award. I think it's richly deserved, and I'd also like to thank you for the opportunity to have worked with you on your projects.
David, you've hit 3 home runs back to back in northeastern British Columbia.
I think you deserve this award because I know It was a pretty lonely road you walked sometimes there, but you still forged ahead.
The fourth home run, I think, was bringing that partnership of Anglo Coal into British Columbia and Canada.
My career has been richer and a lot more interesting for having the chance to work with you over the years. So thank you.
I think you're extremely well-deserved of this award, and I hope you and Patty are enjoying your time on the islands, and we'll look forward to seeing you as soon as we can.